Like, okay,
Okay,
it's starting now.
it's starting up right now?
Yep.
Okay, so we are in Laredo, Texas with Mr. and Mrs. Lozano, and they were just explaining to us that they lost electricity and water for a little bit and had a broken pipe, but were able to fix it. But what I've really been impressed by is they're at the center of this neighborhood, and they've been helping other families who need the assistance, whether it's fixing broken pipes and repairing damage to their homes. Mr. Lozano was just explaining that the food bank has helped to bring meals and food here to where he is in this neighborhood in Laredo, and then he's distributing the food out to people who are unable to leave their homes, or because of the pandemic and the fact that they haven't been vaccinated yet, don't want to leave their homes. And he's literally bringing the food to him. And I was just telling him it doesn't surprise me, because the first time we met Mr. and Mrs. Lozano a few years ago, we learned that they're at the center of this neighborhood. Mr. Lozano and his team, have fixed all the vehicles in this neighborhood through their auto repair shop. Mrs. Lozano has served on the PTA, has gotten to know the families and serve the families, and she was just telling me that she's most concerned about the senior citizens and the elderly in the area, making sure that they come through this okay. You mentioned the coronavirus. How has the process been to get people vaccinated in the neighborhood? For example, have you all received a vaccine?
I just got mine today.
You got yours today?
Yeah.
Your first or second?
First.
Your first, good. That's great. So one more to go.
Yes.
And Mr. Lozano?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We're
Working on it.
We're working on it.
Yeah. How about some of the older folks in the neighborhood?
Well, right now the people, they go to the some places, and they give an appointment, and to go to some like CVS pharmacies or and then right now I think that they're easy right now because they have the vaccine right now. Before there was a lot of problem because they don't have it.
They didn't have enough, and my understanding is in Laredo, you can't really sign up. There's no list to sign up on, right? So how do people know how to get a vaccine?
Well, you have like CVS, you have to call and they have a logo so you can log in, and it takes you like 10 days or 3 days, 4 days. It took me 5 days.
5 days of trying to get on the list?
Yes.
And so you would just, when you heard vaccines were available, you'd go to the CVS website and try to get on the list. It wouldn't work that day, so you try again the next day.
You gotta go to another one.
Yeah, this is kind of like I don't know what the right analogy is, but it's like trying to get Metallica tickets. You find that tickets are on sale, and then they're gone as soon as you log into Ticketmaster and try to get it. Hey there, how are you?
Yeah,
How's it going?
Good to see you. Hey, did I see you all in Arlington?
Yes.
So true story.
I'm Wisconsin.
I first met Mr. Lozano in 2017, 2018. Learned that he was at the center of this neighborhood in Laredo. I'm in San Antonio a few months later, and a van pulls up, and someone says, "Hey, are you Beto O'Rourke?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, I'm from Laredo, and Mr. Lozano says I need to support you. Then a couple of years after that, I'm running one morning in Arlington, Texas. This was actually this last year. And I get in my truck after the run. I'm driving back to the hotel. And this truck or van pulls up next to me, and they said, "Hey, are you Beto?" And it turns out it's these guys who are part of the Lozano family. So the Lozano family is a very powerful presence in the state of Texas. And they're just the kindest, most generous people. And they're at the heart of the neighborhood that we're in right now in Laredo. And so we knew if we wanted to understand what was happening here, we would go listen to Mr. and Mrs. Lozano and their family. And as you've heard, not only have they had to fix their own pipes and deal with their own issues with electricity and water, but they're out there helping other people fix their homes. And then Mr. and Mrs. Lozano and family are delivering meals and food from the food bank here in Laredo to help others. So anybody who's watching, if you want to help here in Laredo, you can donate to the food bank. That food bank and those resources will make its way into this neighborhood and this community where there are folks who can't leave their homes or because they're not vaccinated. And Laredo, up until very recently, was the deadliest city in America for COVID deaths. Understandably don't want to leave their homes. And so this family is doing just extraordinary work right now. We wanted to make sure that we had a chance to highlight them and let everyone know who's concerned about what's going on in Laredo and the rest of Texas, that there are people who are doing great work, and you can support them through the food bank, for example, and other means of getting help directly to people. So we are so grateful to see you again. And
anytime, and you know, anything you need for help with other people,
thank
just
you.
let me know.
Mr. Lozano checks in on me. Seriously, every month calls me, makes sure that I'm doing okay. He's just, he and Ms. Lozano, just the kindest people that we've had a chance to meet. And not just kind to us, kind to everybody in this neighborhood. And we know that because of the presence that they have. And in fact, the way I met you the first time, we were knocking on doors a few years ago, and for some reason your door wasn't on our list. And the young gentleman that we were knocking on doors with said, if you're not talking to Mr. and Mrs. Lozano in this neighborhood, you're making a huge mistake.
David,
And
David
Barrera.
David Barrera.
Yes. And it really was one of the best things that's ever happened to me, was getting to meet you both. And you all are an inspiration to us. And we hope that others follow your example, helping their neighbors out in this time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so surprised because you're a great man, because I know God is in your heart, because you come from El Paso to Laredo, wherever city of Texas, and man, you know, some people in the political opposition, local, then they don't go out for the office too close to here, to 1 block. And you come to Longta, 700 miles from El Paso, Texas to Laredo, man.
It's our honor.
Man, you know, yeah.
It's our honor to be here.
And I saw all around, because I saw in San Antonio and wherever, I saw it all around Texas. I know.
Well,
So you're great, man.
we know that if El Paso, which was luckily spared the worst of this, if we were in need, we know that you would want to be helping us, and that you'd be there for us as well. So I feel like we're just following the example that you all have set. What for folks who are watching from all over the country and they want to help here in Laredo, I mentioned the food bank, which you have told us has been very helpful to the community here. Are there other organizations or groups that people should know about that they can donate to or help to?
Yeah.
Just anywhere here in Laredo?
Yeah, like I told you, the people was in the Angel of Hope.
Yeah, Angel of Hope.
Angel of Hope. Okay, that's right. You mentioned that.
With John and Anna Galo.
Yep.
There's a very nice lady, and well, you know, she's my backup, because everything I need, you know, like every year in November, they donate a lot of turkey for the people.
Yeah, that's
They
great.
give it to me, to my neighborhood, 500
Wow.
turkey.
Wow.
500, just for me.
Wow.
We
Well,
distribute
not for
it
myself.
all over.
Yes. That's amazing.
She's very nice lady. If you ask something to her,
She does it.
she say yes. She never say no.
That's great.
It's a
And-
great. It's like you. Simple.
You mentioned Angel of Hope earlier. Is Angel of Hope helping with home repairs too, or what kind of work are they doing?
The main thing is that they're focusing on child advocacy movements and just basically not necessarily home repairs. And maybe you just gave me an idea. Maybe that's something we can bring up to them to add on. Yeah, so they can strengthen their mission, and just overall just coming together, you know, people with all types of backgrounds, all types of titles, just helping each other. And the people at the helm is the Webb County Precinct 1, the constable's office.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that do the great job, and they're the
Great.
ones that initiated the vision. We also have an extension of that. It's LULAC, which you are very familiar with, which we met in Wisconsin.
Yes,
In the
that's right.
presidential
Yes, that's right.
conference.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's right.
At the time, I was a Webb County
You were a delegate?
volunteer coordinator.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
that's
a
awesome.
delegate.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and we're pushing for your vote as well.
Well, thank you. So these are some great opportunities for people to help, and I know everyone on the live stream has been so generous in asking, how do I help in McAllen? How do I help in Eagle Pass? How do I help in Roma? How do I help now here in Laredo? These are some organizations that are getting the job done, and it sounds like are supporting great folks like the Lozano family, who are then extending that assistance out directly to people in their homes. We were just talking to Dr. Cigarroa earlier today about vaccines, and he was talking about how in his clinic they've literally gone door to door to deliver vaccines for especially senior citizens, as you were mentioning, who need the help. I feel like that's a great spirit in Laredo right now, is that you're delivering meals, he's delivering vaccines. Other organizations are trying to do what they can. So I really appreciate that.
Is there a website for Angel of Hope that
Is
folks
there a
can go
website?
to?
That's a good question. And
Google, Ms.
We'll
Connor.
Google it. Okay.
Google, right?
All right.
Facebook, or
Yeah.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
yeah, Facebook, they do have a page.
So if you're interested and you're on Facebook, as you're watching Facebook Live right now, you can search on Facebook for Angel of Hope in Laredo, and that should bring it up. And then also look for the food bank here. We want to make sure that we're helping our local food banks and food pantries. And then if you want to help all of them in Texas, you can go to Feeding Texas.
I have the phone from Miss Galo.
Ana Galo.
Ana Galo.
Okay.
She's the president.
Okay.
So
That's great.
I can give it to you.
We
Wonderful.
need to come together. She's a great asset to,
Yeah.
to your mission.
Yeah, very nice lady. So she never say no.
She never says no. I like that.
She started giving food to the people right now. You know, she's around the, I don't know, I think some lady coming for Sunday Street over here, Lexington Street, they delivering the food.
Wow.
Because the people call to the office and they say, I need some food, and then write down their address and they deliver it over there. So,
They're very accessible. That's what we
Yeah.
all like. They're very, everything's friendly. User
and
friendly.
they call me right now and they wanna bring me some food to give me some, another people they call me, so I can deliver it too.
Yeah, that's great. I love
And
that.
you know, the people who's need of help to the fixing the pipe, forever, they told me, just give me the address and give me the invoice, forever they spend it, we give them the money back, and we can pay to fix it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing as we travel the state. Now that people, for the most part, have water, some don't, but for the most part have electricity and some don't. The big need right now is repairing their homes. And it's the pipes, and also when the pipes burst and water damaged the sheetrock or the drywall or other parts of their home. They need help with that, and many people just don't have the resources to get that done. So I appreciate that they're doing that. You were about to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to introduce something. We're brought along a local friend of ours. He's the mayor of Rio Bravo.
Oh, right on. Very nice to meet you, Mayor. Yeah,
We would love to have you down there. Like that community, by the numbers, they're one of the most, obviously Laredo's one of the most, impacted and very large.
Right on the
border. Yeah.
We're literally on the
It's,
border.
it's about 20 miles south of Laredo. It's another, small community, but they would really love to have you.
The community of
Cynthia, I don't know if you heard that, but we have the mayor of Rio Bravo here, and maybe you come a little closer. Tell us, Mayor, what you've seen in the community, and again, how people can help.
Yes, I've been helping the community with food since the first day.
Sorry, I'm going to switch this way because you can't see right behind
Oh,
you.
because
There we
the
go.
lights are
Yeah.
right.
There we go.
Since
Okay.
the first day the light went out, and we've been providing food, blankets, so they keep them warm, waters, anything we can do. We're gonna start doing the pipes, trying to help the people with pipes, and I know the water issues now. We have light, but there's a water issue now. So
Now, when you say there's a water issue, do people not have water pressure, or is the water not working, or is it, do you have to boil it, or is it?
no, the
all-
water's good. There's a lot of pipes that needs to be worked on. A lot of plumbing is very needed. So it's something we're trying to get plumbers from different areas to come help our community and have not pay them much, so low cost, and they
Yeah.
can get their water back and running.
Absolutely. So that's the biggest need there, is fixing the pipes,
Yes, fixing the pipes.
getting water restored there. And is there an agency in Rio Bravo that is assisting with this, or is it all happening
And
through
now it's
City
just all
Hall?
happening through us and the
Okay.
support from everybody around who is helping us. So we're trying to create that group to do that, and I think working together, we're gonna get it done.
Yeah, it's so important to remember. So we've been going to, big cities like Laredo, Edinburgh, McAllen, San Antonio. There are smaller communities that are just as, or maybe in some cases more impacted than the bigger cities, and we got to make sure that we get help to these places as well. So Rio Bravo is an example of that, and let's make sure that we're helping there. Is Rio Bravo served by the food bank here in
Yes,
Laredo?
Yes, we get help from the food bank as well, so that's something we're working with the local food banks as well to bring in food twice, 3 times a week.
Okay, are they also for people who don't have running water because their pipes have burst and aren't yet fixed? is the food bank helping out with water, with drinking water?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
they are. We're getting that structured, and we should have water coming in soon as well,
Okay,
from the food bank.
that's great. And Cynthia and I will follow up with the mayor afterwards, just to see if there's something that everybody who's donated to Powered by People for this relief fund, if there's some way to get some of those resources to Rio Bravo to help the community and residents there who need the help, so that they can defray the cost of the plumbers and the plumbing equipment, which is actually in short supply right now across the state of Texas.
We also did a star request for the emergency management team. I think Biden sent water to every state of Texas, I think, every city of Texas.
Yeah,
So we did receive water from a star request from the state.
that's great. And is that through the disaster declaration, I guess?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
it's wonderful. And so we want to thank President Biden, who's actually coming to Texas today. Is he may already?
He might already landed already.
He's already here.
He's already here. Welcome, President Biden. I'm sure he's watching right now. No, but we're grateful for his leadership and for getting resources to Laredo, to Rio Bravo, to other affected communities across the state of Texas. And it's the whole state almost.
Yes, sir.
We've been in the far north, we've been in central Texas, we've been in parts a little bit east of there, and then now in South Texas, and then earlier in the valley. Everywhere, these same problems: water, food, plumbing, and then folks who just had to live without heat. And what did you do when the power in your home, when the power went off and it was cold outside? How did you all stay warm?
Basically, just stay warm with the blankets. We had a torch. The camping gear came along, so we had that kind of fire. Get a hot coffee or something like that. But,
Yeah.
We had to
So
share.
literally, you would build a fire in order to cook or to put heat up
Yeah,
coffee.
make some tacos in the morning or something like that. But there were some areas that people had, a friend, a sister, that they had light, and I think we helped each other. I heard a lot of stories like that. They go shower and come back home.
Yeah.
Because they don't have water, but somebody else had water and light, so we
Go shower at their house, right?
Everybody was helping each other out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of need at the grocery store in Rio Bravo.
Oh yes.
There's a lot of, I know a lot of people.
They don't like two places, the Rio Bravo and the Cenizas. Cenizas is
Cenizo.
more.
Yeah.
We just
What's that?
I take groceries way over there at Rio Bravo too.
It's like a joint thing. There's
Right
right in the
border.
city, right next to another one. Like
Yeah.
on the road separates it.
we
So
just
it's the same amount of affected area.
Yeah, we just, it's interesting, we were at Taco Palenque this morning, and a gentleman came up to me named Valentin, and he said that he's from Laredo, lost his job during the pandemic and the recession, and then lost his home, and was having to stay with friends, couch surfing, and you talk about neighbors coming together to help each other right now, and in that instance, it was friends and family who allowed him to have a home, and he went to El Cenizo, and then they lost power. And so he told me that he had to end up staying in his car to try to get warm in his car. And I just think that it has happened in so many places to so many people who not only now need power back on to fix their pipes, but there were some folks who were already struggling before, like this guy who didn't have a job or a home. So I hope that also wakes us all up to those needs, some of which you might have in your city, that were there before COVID and before this disaster. I'm so glad though that you came by and that we got a chance to meet you, and that people who are watching the live stream know a little bit more about Rio Bravo and El Cenizo and Laredo too.
Do not forget about us, right? We're right on the border, and I think we're coming up as a team and to work with leaders like yourself to bring this city forward and improve it, because it's been in a hole, I guess, for a while. But I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we're going to get your contact information right now. We're going to follow up and see if there's a way that we can get you resources, because I want to make sure no part of Texas is overlooked or forgotten or taken for granted, because I think that's how we got into some of these problems in the first place. Last question, because this is such an interesting thing to me. How do you know the Lozano family? They seem like they're at all roads meet right here.
Yes.
Like, no matter where you are in Texas, you have a connection to Lozano. So what is your connection?
I know Sergio, which is grandpa, right?
Yes.
And my grandma lives down here the block, so we know each other since we were young.
Gotcha.
And I know Mr. Lozano family for many years. So the church. So now they live back in the south, but it's something that they're always helping, and you hear their name all over the city. So how can you not know them, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I love that. Such a great story. You all are such good people and connected to so many other really good people.
You know, right now, I'm happy because Mr. President Biden is in the office because he wanna fight for us, for the immigrant. You know, it's good because we need those kind of people over there, and they take care about us because you know the President Trump they do a lot of damage for the immigrant.
Yes.
So right now, I think so. They want to start good things to our people, you know, because we're not criminal. We're just working people. That's what I'm saying. Because they try to clean it up, the United States, because they think that the Mexican is a criminal. We're not a criminal. We are working people. It's different.
It's interesting as we travel, especially along the border. When we were in Cameron County, and we passed a field where farm workers were literally, you know, picking the food that we all depend on and eat, and they're all immigrants, and they're all working the toughest, you know, literally backbreaking jobs. And then we went to where some of these farm workers live, and you know, trailers without any insulation. Their electricity and their water was out, and they haven't been restored in some cases. And not only are they not criminals, they're doing some of the most important work and leading some of the toughest lives right now. And we got to make sure that we don't forget them. Not only that we don't harm them, but that we actually try to help people who are helping all of us to do well. And I feel like that's such a big part of the story of Rio Bravo or El Paso or Laredo. Our cities are great because people chose to come here and make them great. And we got to remember that, and that's the source of our strength. And so I really appreciate you saying that, and the examples that we see as we travel the state of Texas. Part of the reason we want to share this with people on the live stream is just to make sure that the rest of the country and the rest of the state understands.
If I want a leader like you, because you're not in the office to do what you do in